What's up everybody and welcome back to another video. And before we jump right in,
if you have any poo, fling it now.
Hear me out folks. I feel like I've got to say that at the start of the video because I see the title too. I know you guys are looking at me funny, but just hear me out, okay? Today we're going to be talking about Doctor Who Spoon Theory. The finale is only 2 weeks away. What the? Where did the time go? So I'm going to be telling you guys my theory of what I think is going to happen in the Doctor Who Season 2 finale. Oops. The Reality War, airing at 6 p.m. Oh my god guys, we finally won. We prayed for times like these. Finally, Doctor Who is releasing at a good time. It only took until the literal last episode. But okay, now while I have my evidence for what I'm about to say, I also feel like I should definitely mention that this video is all speculation, okay? It's probably all gonna be wrong, and at least some of it, what I'm gonna say, is definitely gonna age poorly. So what we're not gonna do is you're not gonna come back in a few weeks to tell me how wrong I am. Unless I'm right, at which point you can come back and then tell me how right I am. Okay, shut up about all that. What the hell is spoon theory? Let's run it back, people. Have you noticed that in every episode in the past 2 series to feature a god, a member of the Pantheon of Discord, in every single one of those stories, there has been a spoon? Okay. I should probably add to that. A few episodes ago, Lux, a brilliant story that introduced a Mr. Ring-a-Ding, he makes your heart bouncing, you know this guy. Oddly enough, this guy came to life through the power of moonlight. It's one of the weirdest things about this episode, and trust me, there's a lot of them. Reginald Pye putting down his teaspoon after changing the tape, and then, hang on a second, that isn't how moonlight works. It's something that stands out in the moment as not really making, not a lot of sense, but it quickly gets forgotten as the episode continues with more important matters. But you guys know me, I watch these episodes 1 trillion times each, so nothing gets past me. Case in point, the last season, last year's The Devil's Chord, also an episode 2, and also a historical featuring a god character, this time Maestro, the god of music. Would you look at that? Another spoon! Another odd focus on the spoon. What's the deal with all these spoons? But what if I told you that that's not all? Cutting ahead a few episodes to the universally beloved Empire of Death on everyone's soul. We all love that story. After Sutekh has destroyed the universe and sent the Doctor out into the abyss with only a faulty memory TARDIS, the Doctor meets Kind Woman and barters with her for a spoon. The last spoon in the entire universe. And then she dies. The Doctor uses this spoon to power up his screen somehow, and then blah blah blah. The plot goes on without so much as even acknowledging this spoon. But it is acknowledged in the commentary track. Yeah, I'm going full nerd mode here. What did you expect? I'm the DW fan 91, people. And here's basically what they say.
And this is...
And the spoons.
The spoons.
The spoons. I said to Shooty about the spoons being quite relevant.
Yeah, it's budget, wasn't it?
I remember,
The episode was
yeah.
over, and I said, well, I'll cut it, and then we cut it, and it's like, oh my god.
We missed it.
Because he could have sat in the TARDIS and kind of got a spoon on his own.
Oh, yes.
You know, and worked it out, but it just...
Which you might not think is a big deal, but I do. Because I can read between the lines, folks. It's like the Matrix over here. Basically, the spoon shit's a big deal. But why? That is the question, and I think I have an answer. You see, let's look at the spoons. What are spoons? Metal, kitchen utensil, musical instrument. Who uses a musical instrument? Who indeed? It's the 7th Doctor. It was his defining trait, like the bow tie for Matt Smith. He used it in what episode? Time and the Rani. Who is the villain in that episode? Time and the Rani. Rani is an anagram of rain. Rains cause what? Floods. Mrs. Flood. You guys seeing what I'm putting down? Mrs. Flood is the Rani. Okay, no, I'm just kidding. What is my actual theory, folks? Personally, if you put a gun to my head, I believe that Mrs. Flood will be revealed to be the god of stories. And some way, somehow, the spoons will play a vital role in defeating her, the ultimate solution to the series. And their inclusion in the previous episodes serve as subtle foreshadowing, in a similar way to how the psychic rope that was seeded in Church on Ruby Road comes back in Empire of Death to be what they used to defeat Sutek. But wait a second, God of Stories? Where did that come from? Is it because the last episode was also about stories and their power and also about the gods? Somehow? No. Spoiler alert, nah, that's not it. That's just one big happy coincidence. I've had this theory for months now, but where's my evidence? Mrs. Flood is one of the only characters to break the fourth wall in this series, talking directly to the camera and the audience at multiple different occasions. However, it is important to note that the Doctor has also done this. The season itself began with a narration from him, setting the scene of Ruby Road, and Empire of Death ends with a narrated epilogue from Mrs. Flood. Perhaps both of them are aware of the story of it all.
Okay, thing is, this place is completely mad, but it still makes sense, because you've got babies, you've got a nanny, and you've got the bogeyman. You've literally got a monster living down below. It's a children's story. Come to life.
And every story has its hero.
Ruby's backstory is presented as the legend of Ruby Sunday. It's all a part of her myth, and the only reason it actually has power is because we think that it has power. The might of its story literally gave the event strength. Ruby's mother pointed at a sign, and the power of her doing that literally named Ruby. It's quite metaphorical, but I hope I'm getting the point across. This first season, series 14 of Doctor Who, is quite literally all about stories. Boom even sets up the bait and switch in the finale with the reveal that there aren't any actual aliens and that the Marines have just been fighting themselves all the time. Now, after this episode, similarly to Ruby, Belinda's life is presented as a story. And guess who shows up? Inserting herself into the narrative, it's Mrs. Flood. What's she doing here? So yeah, that's personally what I believe that the ending reveal is going to be, and that the finale, the reality war, will be about all of these different narratives of the series all coming and clashing together. Quite literally different realities. Alternatively, because Conrad the Bastard is going to be showing up as one of the main villains, when he says at the end, "I reject your reality," he might actually make his own reality thanks to the wishes on the wish world, which we don't know what that is yet, but still. So unit characters might disappear, or all our characters might be erased from the world, and he'd be the leader, poor Shirley Bingham, etc, etc. You could show how evil his ideal world is, you know, stuff like that. And maybe Mrs. Flood is behind it all, giving him his power. We'll have to see how it turns out. A theory I really like, but I don't think is true, is the Belinda Harbinger theory. In DWM, Russell T Davies said something about an unholy trinity. Apparently there's going to be a good trinity and a bad trinity. The good trinity seems to be, in my opinion, pretty definitive. It's going to be Mel, Belinda and Ruby. I don't know, I just feel like that's the obvious way for the story to go. But the bad trinity is a lot more ambiguous. Conrad, Mrs. Flood, and Poppy from Space Babies. But a great fan theory to come out of all of that, with all the talk of Belinda's parents, what if all three of them were the unholy trinity? Belinda's name has always stuck out to me. You can go back and watch, I always thought it's a bit of an old name, you know what I mean? I just think it sounded a bit weird. Now, cut ahead a year and a half, halfway through the series, I love it. And I've fully gotten used to it. But I remember when her name wasn't Belinda. Now, this is a deep cut, but apparently Belinda's name changed during development. We don't know what it was originally and from what it changed to Belinda, but it was apparently something else. Either way, the point is her name is important. Ruby's name was important, now Belinda's name is important. Have you noticed the key letters yet? So far we have had some great Harbinger puns, but if this is true, it will put all of them to shame. Belinda. Do you see it yet? Do you see it? B-I-N. That's the middle bit of Harbinger. Depending on the names of her mum and dad, who have been mentioned in every story of the season so far, despite us never seeing them, all three of them could be a Harbinger. And knowing that Conrad, the main baddie, is the one who sent the Doctor on the path to meet Belinda, it could explain why Mrs. Flood is so interested in him. Now this is a great theory and I really like it, but I've got to say I don't think it's true. As I said, I think it's pretty cool, but we have have no evidence. In terms of evidence, we've got no evidence. I'm also pretty sure that Rusty Davies said in DWM Belinda's actual parents' names, and if I remember correctly, they don't actually have H-A-R or G-E-R in either of their names. But then again, I don't remember where I read that. I have the DWMs physically and I could go back through them and check, and I CBA. And additionally, maybe he's just trolling. It's a great disproval. Great job, DW fan 91. Stunning again. I don't know, I just don't believe it, folks. But anyway, those are my theories for the Doctor Who finale. I think Mrs. Flood will be the god of stories. I think Conrad would have taken over the world, and I think Mel and Ruby and Belinda will team up to save the day. Will Ncuti Gatwa regenerate? I hope not. I would miss him. But anyway, all of that locked in. Lock it in, folks. But before we end the video, I'm going to be doing something different. Let me know how you guys feel about this one, folks. I'm going to be going over some of your guys' posts, the ones that you sent to me on my Twitter. Don't forget to follow me, folks. I'm trying to hit 1,000 followers. Hooray! Can we do it? I don't know. This is an experiment type of video. I'm not actually that active on Twitter, and I don't know if I want to be, but I know that there are people on there who want to interact, and I think that's great. Don't worry, folks. I am still going to be doing the community reaction. That shit is never going away for the world. I just want to do something different and read through some of the replies. So don't forget, next week, send in your own thoughts on the Twitter if you want to be included in the video, and here we go. I cried at 2 different parts of this, and I genuinely cannot for the life of me explain why. Something felt deeply raw and different to this story than any story so far. Some of the best acting of any episode, if I'm being honest. Amazing characters. I feel the same way. I didn't cry myself, but I know that a bunch of people actually did, and I feel like, as this person points out, I think it has to do with the rawness of storytelling. I myself am becoming increasingly pro playwright, transitioning from the stage to screen. I think it's not just such a good transition, but actually a needed transition. What I'm beginning to realize is that every single story in this season, bar Lucky Day, has started out quite wide in scope and then basically miniaturized to all being set in 1 or 2 rooms. The Robot Revolution, while starting out on Earth and with all of these robots and spaceships and blah de blah, if you knock it down, it actually just takes place in 2 sets, one of which is reused for another location. Lux, of course, starts outside the theatre, but mostly just takes place inside the theatre. And The Well, as I'm pretty sure most, if not everyone, has figured out, starts out on this planet falling below the base. All of that gets miniaturized to just that one room. And now, with the story and the engine, it basically all takes place in this barber shop. And that's why I think Inua Elam's style of writing really shines, because the location really is like a stage, and the emotion, that rawness, can really come out of the screen. I also just think thematically it is so much stronger than anything we've seen in this season, and probably since Dot and Bubble, which isn't that long ago. But overall, yeah, I definitely love it. Here's the next one. It was honestly perfect. I felt like the episode's premise was based on the 11th Doctor quote, "We're all stories in the end, just make it a good one." A beautiful showcase of how powerful stories can be and how the storyteller is vital for said stories to be told and spread. Yeah, honestly, 100% agree. As someone who, I mean, in this video I've talked about it enough, but just in general, as someone who is enamored with stories and their relationship to humanity as a whole, it really hit home with me. And for the final one, from Prowl1701, who's got a YouTube channel as well, he's great. Another solid story for the season. The stories are 5 for 5 so far. Really impressed with the visuals and incidental music in addition to the story. Yeah, just incredible visuals, and the soundtrack in this one, superb. There we go. 3 different posts. What did you guys think? The community reaction should be coming out very, very soon, among other things, so don't forget to subscribe. I'm trying to hit 30,000 subscribers by the end of the season. Is it possible? Can we do it? I think we can. We went up by 1,000 in the past week. We are so close. So don't forget to leave a like, don't forget to subscribe, and don't forget to leave all your theories in the comments below. This is kind of my favorite thing to do in the Doctor Who fandom, so I hope you enjoyed the video. It's very different, but with all that said, a humongous shout out to everyone who helped support the channel. Tom, Cardboard Oracle, Silver Safi, Bunny, Zoom, Dr. Hoomst, Jack D. Murray, Vorshkorm, The Instinct, Kai Keller, Renegade Time Lord 97, Manny, Eric, Ren, Poop Criminal, Diego, Theta, Dark Tranquil, Chicky, No More Flippin', 6th Doctor Fan 84, Comfy Glitch X, Harry, Sanyu, Hamara God, Noah T, T Mara, Dobcool, Casual Log, E West, Christian Rothfuss, Unreal Dinnerbone, Aidan Davies, Reef Edwards, Space, Amber Knight, KCKC, Snarly, Connor Bell, Ertle the Turtle, Andrew Locke, Bill Fleming, Hush, Wasabi, Jessica, Kai M, Kylo Wade, Mel, Owen, Toby One Kenobi, Sophie in the Sky, Goldfish, Johnny, Anthony Lentz, Fuchsia the Jester, Ben Zuko Lives, Freddie, Ross, JRW, Ethan, Hiroki, Swaro, Philippe, Nick, Kastretch, Just Him, and Teddy Bite. With all that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.